Can changing your thoughts really change your life? Or is it just another motivational quote people like to repeat? What if I told you that one simple shift in mindset helped a struggling woman go from living in fear to finding hope, strength, and happiness? Stay with me, because this powerful story might change the way you see your own life. Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village, there lived an elderly woman named Margaret. She was very old. Her hair was completely white, her face was covered with wrinkles, yet there was something special about her. Her eyes always sparkled with hope and peace. The people in the village respected her deeply because no matter how difficult life became, she always remained cheerful. Margaret lived alone in a small cottage beneath a large oak tree. She had no husband, no children, and no family nearby. Yet she never complained. Every day she would sit under the oak tree, greet people with a warm smile, and share kind words with anyone who stopped by. Life in the village wasn't easy. Some people worked on farms, others did hard labor jobs. Sometimes drought destroyed the crops. Sometimes illness struck a family unexpectedly. Many villagers lived with constant worry and fear. One day, a young woman named Sarah came to Margaret in tears. Her eyes were red from crying, and fear was written all over her face. "I don't know what to do anymore," Sarah said. "My husband, Michael, went to the city looking for work weeks ago, and I haven't heard from him since. We barely have enough food left. I'm terrified." Margaret gently invited Sarah to sit beside her. Then she asked softly, "What do you think will happen next?" Sarah sighed. "I only imagine the worst. What if he couldn't find a job? What if something happened to him? What if he never comes back?" Margaret smiled kindly. When we constantly expect the worst, our fear grows stronger. But when we allow ourselves to hope, our hearts become stronger too. And sometimes, hope changes more than we realize. Sarah looked confused. "But how can I think positively when everything seems to be going wrong?" Margaret nodded. "Let me tell you a story," she began. "There was once a poor man named Thomas. He had no money, no food, and no family. One day he sat by a river crying, convinced that life had given him nothing. As he sat there, an old woman approached him and asked, 'Why are you crying?' Thomas replied, 'Because I have nothing.' The woman smiled and said, 'Look around you. See the flowing river, see the trees, feel the fresh air. Look at the open sky above you. Are these things nothing?' Thomas looked around for the first time. The river sparkled in the sunlight. The birds sang in the trees. The breeze felt gentle against his skin. The woman continued, 'If you focus only on what you don't have, you'll never find happiness. But if you learn to appreciate what you do have, peace will find you.' Slowly, Thomas stopped crying. Nothing around him had changed. But something inside him had. His mindset shifted, and eventually, his life began to change as well." Margaret looked at Sarah and said, "Thomas's life didn't change because of magic. It changed because his thinking changed." Sarah sat quietly for a moment. Then she asked, "So you're saying my thoughts can change my life too?" Margaret nodded. "Every morning, tell yourself, 'Today will bring something good.' That belief will give you strength. But if you spend every day trapped in fear, you'll only make yourself weaker." Sarah took a deep breath. "I'll try." From that day forward, she made a decision. Every morning she woke up and said, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard, she cared for her family, and most importantly, she refused to lose hope. Weeks passed. Then one afternoon, a letter finally arrived. It was from Michael. He had found a good job in the city and would soon be sending money home. Sarah couldn't contain her excitement. She rushed to Margaret's cottage and shared the wonderful news. Margaret simply smiled and said, "You see, when hope stays alive, new paths often appear." As time passed, more villagers began visiting Margaret. Everyone received the same simple advice: change your thinking and your life will begin to change. And little by little, many people noticed positive changes in their lives. Years later, Margaret passed away, but her words continued to echo throughout the village. Don't focus on changing your circumstances first. Change your mindset first, because every great change begins there. If this story inspired you, type "I choose hope" in the comments. And remember, your life doesn't always change when your situation changes. Sometimes it changes the moment your mindset does.